Hi, Tim here from World of Sleuths. I'm here for my with my weekly reads, and of course, like I said, said in my last one that after I show what I've been reading, and what I'm currently reading, I'll show any new books I picked up. Well, I did pick up. I went to. This wasn't during last week, but I did go to a library sale today where I got several books, and so I'll be showing them at the end here. This video will be taking longer than usual because I picked up several books. So with that said, let me start with the books. Okay, there's a couple books I completed. The first one is Death in the Cold Climate. It's in this book, 4 Complete Mysteries by Robert Barnard. It's about like a man like in his 20s from England. He lives in Tromsø or something like that, Norway. He said he was just going to be there for a few days, and all of a sudden he disappears before the time that he said he was leaving would be up. All his stuff's still in the room, that cheap hotel room that he was renting, and this happens just before Christmas, and then a few months later in March, they discover his body under the snow, and so the rest of the book's pretty much with the investigation for that. I don't want to spoil anything from it, and I've rated that one 5 out of 6 possible arrows, and so that brings me to the next book I read, which that I finished, which is Keeper of Lost Causes by Jussi or Jussi Adler-Olsen. I might be slaughtering the name some. It's about a new department's formed with in a called Department Q at a police station. This is in Denmark, and Department Q's main goal is to work on high-profile cold cases to try and solve them. Well, he was given a list of pile of folders for some, and the one he picks out is for a female politician that disappeared like 5 years before that, and people were starting to think it was suicide because she was on a ferry with their handicapped brother, but she disappeared, and all of a sudden, and no trace of the body or anything since then. And Cora Mork, I might be slaughtering that name, so I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, but he's just a detective that just came back from like sick leave because he was shot. Bullet grazed him, and he was out for a while. The 2 guys that he was with there, worse than him, one of them was killed and the other was paralyzed. But so he's working on solving that case throughout the book, and it's sort of interesting how the book goes back and forth between when the crime happened and then the present day of well, actually this book is a little older. It takes place in 2007, where Carl's investigating investigating it, but for or a, he, for a while he was thinking it might be either suicide or a murder, but he couldn't still didn't have any final proof on it, so he was working on that throughout his book. And I'll leave it at that for this one, and I rated that, oops, let me do that again, 6 out of 6 arrows. For some reason, I just like that book. I've been really getting into these mysteries by Scandinavian authors. First one I did was by Joe Nesbo. One was in February, and the other was before with March Mystery Madness. Then reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo last month, and then this book also, and so that's really got me interested in reading these books by Scandinavian authors. So and I am still reading the book that I'm trying to get it done. It's The Night of the Hawk. It's like the third book in the Patrick McClanahan series, where they're trying to get a guy that was part of their crew on Flight of the Old Dog, that they thought he was dead because they thought he sacrificed his life to save them, and they recently found out from some photos an informant gave to the intelligence people that he was still alive and working at a secret lab in Lithuania, and this is after Lithuania's independence and stuff, and so they're going in to get him because there's still some Russians in there, and Belarus is trying to take over Lithuania pretty much, so they have their own ports for Belarus, but so Patrick McClanahan and a couple others of the crew Hawk, which is pretty much a secret design area for the Air Force. They're sent into along with the group of Marines to rescue this navigator that they thought was lost, and they're sent get this because they saw pictures of a plane, too, of a new secret plane that the Russians are building, and they were sent along to try getting as much documentation they could on that. Well, that's all I'll say about this one, and then and now I'm started on a new book. Also this week I started reading The Midnight Witness by Sara Blaedel. This is she's from Denmark also, and she's a detective with the police department in Erikhout Department A. I'm wondering if that's something common in Denmark, or they have different departments, or they just do a letter for the name of the department. Well, anyway, she's put on a team to investigate the murder of a woman that was whose body was found in a park. Her boyfriend that she lived with didn't realize that she had returned home. She had gone out with some friends, and she didn't. She wasn't home till the next day, so that's when he started calling people. And when none of them had seen her, he decides to call the police, and Sarah's on the team investigating that one. That's I'm not much further into the book than that. And so then there is one other book I started reading. I decided I'm going to try slowly work on finishing the series that I have started since coming on with Goodreads mainly, and out some of them with Booktubers. And so I'm reading The Blue Goals by John Blaine. See that this is a children's book from like the 1950s, but it's like a detective one where it's a teenager and his best friend. They live on an island that's just it's all scientists on it. And Rick Grant is a teenager, and his father pretty much is head of this research group of scientists on that island, and he goes out and solves mysteries and stuff, and like he flies a plane, and he works with different he uses scientific methods for doing it. So it's, if you haven't read that series, it's a fun one to read, and it doesn't take too long. Okay, with that said, I said I went to a library sale today, and all the books are 10 cents a piece there. Between my wife and I, we got around 31, 32 books there. And my wife just got like 4 books. This box is full with the books I got. So with that said, I'll start showing the books. First one is Nightfall by Dennis DeMille. The Watchman by Robert Craze. The Farm by Tom Rob Smith. Break No Bones, this is in the Temperance Brennan series by Kathy Reichs. Another Robert Craze book, The 2-Minute Rule. Sorry, my chair's a little noisy. Another Robert DeMille, it's a hardcover, it's Plum Island. See, we usually go on to Friday, this book sale, but my wife ended up having to work yesterday. She's usually off on the Fridays of it. Or they're a quarter a piece, and there's more paperbacks, usually more paperbacks, so a lot of them are probably sold, and so they had left for put out all the hardcovers. The next one is A Cry in the Night. The Cry in the Night is by Higgins Clark. Nelson DeMille, Wildfire. Jeffery Deaver, The Blue Nowhere. Jeffery Deaver, Vanished Man. This is in the Lincoln Rhyme series. Okay, got this one because Ian from BNB Books likes this. author. It's Double Colony. It sounds like the type I like for like techno thrillers. Okay, this is the last hardcover. It's by Nelson DeMille. It's Spencerville. No, now it's the rest of the paperbacks, because I showed you like 2 or 3 is all paperbacks. Okay, this is Alex Cross Run, or yeah, Alex Cross Run. This is in the Alex Cross series. My mouse fell. Son of Prey by John Sandford. Looks like 9 Dragons by Michael Connelly. Looks like it might be in the Harry Bosch series. Elmore Leonard, Out of Sight. John Sandford, Equipray. David Baldacci, The Last Man Standing. Or Last Man Standing. Jeffery Deaver, The Bone Collector. James Patterson, Cross My Heart, so another Alex Cross one. And my mouse fell again. But I'll open books. Sorry about that. I have a wireless mouse that I have to connect for with my laptop, and it's falling off the arm of my chair. Brad Thor, Act of War. Dick Francis, Flying Finish. I read 1 or 2 of his books last year that got me into liking him. Agatha Christie, Destination Unknown. Dick Francis, Banker. Tess Gerritsen, The Sinner. W.E.B. Griffin, Final Justice. And last but not least, Mary Higgins Clark, The Lottery Winner. So that's all I have for you for this time. So if you have any of these books, just leave a comment what you thought of them down below in the comments below. So until next time, take it easy and keep on reading.